Guys, welcome back to D1 Pitching Mechanics. I'm Coach Mazzoni. This is video number 4 in our series on how to use your mechanics to maximize velocity. Now, I will state this up front. Obviously, the delivery is one whole unit. I've broken this down into 5 things so you can analyze yourself, you can understand the principles, you can coach yourself and review your own video. But obviously, everything that we do relates to everything else. So I am breaking it down, but the delivery is one full unit. And what we're going to talk about here is everything from foot plant, so when our foot lands here, to our finish and our release. And again, I'm a big believer in how the finish is all dictated by the beginning. What do I mean by that? Well, if any of you play golf, you've seen a good golfer have a nice backswing and a great finish and follow through. But occasionally you've seen bad golfers have a bad beginning and then a bad finish, right? Same with the swing. Someone who has a great start of the swing and a great beginning is going to have a nice swing. Somebody that has a problem up front, you really can't correct it. You got to set the wheels in motion to start. So if everything's gone right prior, a lot of this should take care of itself. But over the years I've been coaching, I've seen what I would call leaks in velocity from foot plant on down. Okay, so let's go back, just quickly recap. We want early momentum. We want to drop into our backside as we go forward. We want to get the proper stride length. Lower half opens and upper half stays closed here. Now this is where I'm going to turn to this side and talk specifically about my front leg. I have no velocity. Wind up, no velocity now. When my foot comes off the ground, as my foot comes off the ground, I build velocity. When I get back to the ground, I now have the max velocity, and now it has to translate out my hand through release, okay? So imagine a hitter doing this. Imagine a hitter swinging and having his front knee bent. You would say, clearly, that hitter has lost power. Why do we straighten out our front leg here? It brings power through the hips and the core and out the barrel. Hockey, golf, lacrosse, tennis, it's transferring power from the lower half to the upper, and pitching, of course, is identical, okay? So one of the things when you analyze your video, you're going to want to make sure one of 2 things must happen. And if not, we have to determine why, and I can give you some drills to work on it. So the first thing is, once I land here, you should draw a line. You should be able to draw a line with a Telestrator software or whatever you might have, or just eyeball it, that my front knee should never come forward after landing. So if I land and my front knee comes forward, that is a loss of power staying in my legs that will not come out my upper body. So at the bare minimum, once I plant, nothing should move forward. That should allow my hips to rotate and my backside to come around. And pardon my wire here, but I'm hardwired in to get you better sound, and I'm pitching with a wire in to bring you the best possible video. So don't worry about that wire. Don't let it distract you. So what we're looking at here is to land through here. It's the front side firming to allow the back side to come through. Okay? Where this goes wrong for a lot of guys is, again, if they're at balance, they have no momentum, no power, they really drive off. They're not strong enough or flexible enough to handle this push, and then weight goes into the front leg. Loss of power. If you use the momentum and then drop into the backside with the right stride level, now you're able to land, and then ultimately this is what we want. We want to post up. We want this front leg through release. Now some guys will do it after, which again is acceptable provided this knee doesn't move forward. The hardest throwers, and you'll see on the video links, I have Verlander, there's Chapman, there's Trevor Bauer, there's all these guys that I've analyzed, and you'll see through the release position, the front leg posts up and the back leg comes through. Posting up is crucial. Sometimes it's a mechanical thing you haven't done. A lot of times it's strength and flexibility. Guys, no matter what your age is, listen to your moms. Stretch. You should stretch after a workout, after a practice. Assisted stretching, meaning get a partner, get a belt, get a tube, get a towel, and work on your stretching. Take a yoga class. Get a yoga DVD. Flexibility is crucial. There are no big lineman-like pitchers. Tall, lean, strong, flexible pitchers, okay? So some drills to go over that. Back to the med ball. The great part, again, with the med ball is the med ball self-teaches. To throw a 10-pound object, our body must do it right. So you're not going to throw a med ball anywhere, any distance, with any velocity with a bent front knee. With a 5-ounce ball, you can get away with it because it's still going to come out your hand with decent velocity, but not your max velocity. So we can do the following drills. We can land, be in our landing 2-point position. We can be here. We could work on how to get back, open the hips, keep the upper body closed, fire the med ball, and follow through. Again, we're pushing it, not throwing it. So drill number 1 would be just that. At the landing position, slight rock back, fire the hips, follow through, post up on the front leg. Then the next drill, start with the leg in the air, a little momentum. Come down, land, fire the med ball, and you will post up. If you video yourself, you will see that to throw this med ball hard, your front leg will post up. So you don't have to think about it. What you need to do is feel it. What that means is throw the ball 5, 10 times a day, more if you have time. And feel what your body must do to fire this med ball. And then continue to have that same feeling with the 5-ounce baseball. That's what we call intentional practice. That means practice with full thought on what you're doing, not on class or on the Wii or on girls or on texting. It's full attention to what you're doing, okay? And then you can take it through the full delivery. So you're in your stretch or wind up, take it all the way through, land, fire, and your front leg will post up with this med ball. Must get a med ball, guys. Now, another good drill, you can do it while throwing. For the purpose of this, I'm just going to use a towel for the filming. Throwing up the mound. Indoor mound like this, dirt mound, doesn't matter. You can do all those drills. You can start here. You can do med ball for that matter. Baseball into a net, towel, whatever works. Do them all, okay? And you work on delivering up the mound. Why up the mound? Because the front side is higher. It's way tougher to post up working up the mound. It's going to put pressure on your hamstrings, your glutes, your lower back. And if you can drill it in up the mound and all those things. So here's another drill, leg up in the air, momentum, up and finish. If you can do it up the mound, by the time you go back the other way, it should be way easier. So up the mound deliveries are great. This segment's not about curveballs or changeups or whatnot, but throwing up the mound on your off-speed pitches is a great practice drill as well. Okay, so depending on where your mound is, you should have the opportunity to do that. So front leg posting up is really crucial. Now, the rest of the delivery, I'm going to go back to our front angle in terms of talking about the rest of the delivery. From foot plant on. Okay, at foot plant, my elbow should be up as high as my shoulder. So regardless of arm path, which we'll talk about in that last segment, when I get down to foot plant, my elbow should be as high as my shoulder. Okay, now, posting up, and all that part in the beginning will help me get out forward enough. Now the follow through. Let's talk first about the arm and then about the follow through. Where should my arm be? High 3/4, over the top, 3/4, sidearm. It goes where it goes. I could put up on video, and I will on the online thing, 4 different guys that throw at completely different angles. It just depends on where is right for you. Lincecum, over the top. Pedro Martinez, way down low. Randy Johnson, low. To me, it's almost a non-coach. It's a non-teach. If you do everything properly, the way you do it, wherever your arm winds up is the right fit for you. And if you ever want to test your velocity and move it around a little, you can. But I think it's more than just about the velocity in terms of your arm position. It's where you are comfortable and can get people out. So that, to me, is not something that gets tremendously coached. It's something that happens over the course of the delivery. In addition with that, same with your finish. The finish, to me, relates back to the beginning. So I hate to keep using my punching examples, but I'm going to stick with it. If I take a light tap to somebody, light little friendly tap, do I have a big finish? No, I didn't put anything into it, and therefore there's no finish to be had, okay? If I try to crush somebody or something, and I take a tremendous punch and get everything into it like I'm furious, and I punch, am I going to follow through that punch? Yes. Do I have to think about it? No. So the follow through it really shouldn't be coachable. You could analyze it because it determines what happens prior, but in and of itself, it's not coachable. If I have a balanced position, short stride, and I throw like this, of course I'm not going to follow through with a finish. So your coach is going to yell, you got to finish. Well, now you're all of a sudden going to do this and you're going to force a finish, but at the same time, nothing prior got corrected, and it's just you're appeasing a coach, okay? Last piece on this topic, very dear to me, is how you should completely wind up, and what position you should wind up. And you notice so far yet I haven't talked anything about the glove side. We'll cover that during the arm action piece. But how should I wind up? Well, I know one guy who wound up in the position most of you are coached in. He delivered, he took a little hop, and he wound up like this. Is a guy named Greg Maddux. Greg Maddux, my all-time favorite, just got in the Hall of Fame, won 18 straight gold gloves. The man could field. The man could also deal 88-mile-an-hour moving fastballs. You'd hit it off the end of the bat, you'd get jammed. He needed to field this position. So if you truly end up in that position, that's fantastic. But I watched this past World Series, and not one pitcher on both teams, which is about 20 pitchers that got work in that series, not one of them finished in what we consider that classic fielding position. They all finished with the backside past the front leg. That's me for a lefty, or for the righty is the backside through here. Why? Because they're put so much into the delivery that that's what the body needed to do to decelerate and finish the pitch and get the hips all the way through. So unless someone is tremendously falling off, which would be a posture position through the stride, if someone's falling off way over to the side, we have ourselves a problem. But if someone is through here and then falls off that way, that means to me that person's thrown with maximum intensity. So I would not worry in the least bit about that. Okay? So just to recap, we've talked about what the body should do from foot plant through to finish. We must firm up the knee, or post up ideally, at least firm up the knee. Gave you some drills to do that, and then I talked about the finish. So the last segment will be on arm action. Everything we're doing is about producing arm speed. Arm speed equals ball speed, okay? So thanks for watching this video. D1 Pitching Mechanics, and I'm Coach Mazzoni. Thank you.